So now, Satyavan and Savitri, they have introduced to each other. She wanted Satyavan to tell her more and more of what he is, and he spoke something not only about him, but about the growing possibilities which can open out for the world, the spiritual possibilities which can open out for the world. He was looking for the body of God. He was looking for the body of God, that it must be established here. And he also saw that in every other self he is present there, not only in himself, but in the entire universe, in the cosmic extensions. Now, with that introduction, actually, this is a very sweet introduction, very sweet way of concluding. And then he says, "Oh, my bright, beauteous princess Savitri, by my delight and thy own joy compelled. Yes, you enter my life, I'll be very happy, but you will also be compelled by your own joy to enter into my life. You will be compelled. You cannot but join my life. Enter my life, thy chamber and thy shrine." As I said, thy chamber and thy shrine. He said, thy shrine. Earlier we have seen that Savitri was a shrine for the God of love. God of love would find himself very comfortable to stay in that palatial shrine. And the shrine would be so vast that the entire universe could be accommodated in that shrine. That is Savitri. Her love was wider than the universe. And it is the shrine. But now Satyavan is telling, yes, you are going to stay in my shrine. I am going to be your shrine now. You will be the goddess. You will be the deity. I will worship in my shrine here. In great quietness with spirits made, led by my hushed desire into my woods, let the dim rustling arches over thee lean, one with the breath of things eternal live. Thy heartbeats near to mine, till there shall leap enchanted from the fragrance of the flowers, a moment which all murmurs shall recall, and every bird remember his cry. So it's a very romantic invitation Satyavan is extending to Savitri. Very sweet, very romantic, and already he is talking about her heartbeats close to his heartbeats. Very dear, very endearing, almost to the extent of to the on the verge of kind of romantic eroticism. That is what we are here. And then this is one of the most beautiful sections in Savitri, section 2 of this particular canto, or this 104, that is the 104th section of the whole epic. 104 is the 104th section of the entire epic. Starting from the first epic, we have come down to 104. There are in all 159 sections in Savitri. Now, allured to her lashes by his passionate words, her fathomless soul looked at him from her eyes, passing her lips in liquid sounds, it spoke. Now this is a very powerful sentence, very deep, very occult, very romantic also. And in just few phrases, respect the entire romanticism of spirituality is what we see here. The romanticism of spirituality is what is witnessed here. First he says, allude to her lashes, eyelashes. Now the eyelashes have become very charming. They have become so charming, so sweet, because of the power of love which got awakened in Savitri. She has become very beautiful, extremely beautiful, and all that beauty is now gathered in her eyes. All that beauty has gathered now in her eyes. Therefore, the soul which is very deep within sees something extremely beautiful and tries to come out. Allured to her lashes by his passion, her fathomless soul, it is coming out from deep within towards the eye. And it is through that sight she is seeing now Satyavan. That's the French translation? Yeah.
French because they didn't say allured to her lashes.
You get the sense there?
Yes, the sense yes, but they put something else.
Uh-huh. Is it by the mother?
No, I prefer English because in French she put the pull from the deepness.
No, it's not pulled.
Tiré, tiré. Pull.
No, tire is not pulled. It is attraction. It is attraction.
Yes.
Allure means attracted, charmed.
Better in English.
No, it is charmed. It is attracted. It is so sweet, it has jumped up. It has the sense of jumping up. Sense of jumping up. The soul has jumped up from within into her eyes. Yeah. Allured to her lashes by his passionate words, her fathomless soul looked at him from her eyes. Now, fathomless soul, of course, Savitri's soul is fathomless. We don't know the depths of her soul. And it is already very deep within. And essentially, behind that human Savitri, it is the divine Savitri herself which is seated within her soul. It is the divine Savitri who herself is seated within her soul. Now, it is she, the divine Savitri, is getting attracted by this beauty which she sees now in human Savitri. Human Savitri's beauty got awakened because of the power of love. And that has done the entire alchemy, you see. Allured to her lashes by his passionate words, her fathomless soul looked at him from her eyes. It is the soul which is looking, not her eyes. It is the soul which is looking at him. Passing her lips in liquid sounds, it spoke. Now, this word passionate has the sense of intensity. It is not the ordinary human passion. It is not emotionalism. It has a sense of fieriness, of intensity, of some kind of a depth in the power of the words. And it is that which is coming out. It is intense emotion, is what we see in that passionate word. Intense emotion of Satyavan in his speech, his powerful speech. And it is a strong feeling of his. Passionate, his strong feeling. He is talking very sincerely, very honestly, very deeply, with a kind of fieriness, intense as well as vehement. He is also vehement. He is earnest, he is glowing, it is burning, it is fiery, it is animated. All those qualities are put in that word passionate. It is in that sense of passionate, you see. Not human passion or emotions or attraction. Earnest, glowing, burning, fiery, animated. intense, vehement. These are the shades of passionate. Yeah. And it is that intensity he spoke to her. And Savitri got attracted because of that. Her soul got kind of attracted by that thing. Fathomless soul looked at him from her eyes, passing her lips in liquid sounds, it spoke. Now, who is speaking? It is the soul which is speaking. It is the soul which has come out. And it has found a way through her lips to speak, the soul. And it is in the language which we utter and we speak, it is through that language. Means it has already spoken silently. They have already spoken to each other silently. What would call the sane speech. In the Sanskrit language, there are 4 grades of speech, 4 types of speech. Vaikhari, Madhyama, Pashyanti, and Turiya. These are the 4 levels of speech. What we speak and utter, and for what we have got dictionaries and meanings and correlations and all that, they belong to the language called Vaikhari, the common human language, Vaikhari. But behind that is Madhyama, the intermediate, the occult link between the pranic language, the language of life, and the language of the waking person. It is that pranic speech, that is the Madhyama. She is the intermediary between this. Beyond that is Pashyanti. Pashyanti means seen. You don't speak, you see that thing, and the communication is already established. The communication is already established. And then, of course, beyond that is ineffable, which cannot be described in terms of language. Turiya. These are the 4 levels of language. So, until now, when Satyavan and Savitri were seeing each other, they were really talking in the language which belongs to Pashyanti, the seen language. Where you see, you understand, you recognize everything immediately. You don't have to speak out a word. See, some time ago, the example which I had given, Mother mentions in one of her talks, you see, every Durga time, that is in October, about this time, Durga used to visit the mother regularly, and she used to be there with her for some time also. Maybe on some occasions she was there with her for 3 days, and she was charmed by the way the mother was doing all these things, Durga. Then somebody asked the mother, in which language do you speak to each other? Do you speak in French? She says, no, this is another language, Pashyanti word. We communicate in another language at that level. It is that language which is speak. So that language is already, but now it has come down here in the case of Satyavan and Savitri to the spoken language what we understand. And now it is that which is now following it up here. And therefore the words are passionate with that intensity, that earnestness, everything is there now packed in that word. You see. Fathomless soul looked at him from her eye, passing her lips in liquid sound. Now again, we have got our common favorite phrase, liquid sounds. See, we are seeing that liquid sound, this phrase appears earlier also. No? In fact, there are a few occurrences of this phrase in Savitri. Liquid sounds, we have got once here. Then liquid voice, 93.31. Ashokas burn in crimson spots of flame, pure like the breath of an unstained desire. White jasmines haunted the enamored air, pale mango blossoms fed the liquid voice. It is a description of the spring, and it is the mango blossoms which have filled up the whole place with liquid voice. Then we have another liquid, 102.34. That we already seen also, but let us see again quickly. And Satyavan looked out from his soul's doors and felt the enchantment of a liquid voice. Felt the enchantment of a liquid voice. It is exactly the same thing. Now here liquid sound which is coming here. There, until now, in the earlier case, when they were seeing each other, he felt. She had not spoken a word. The chariot stood like an arrested wind, as you see, arrested wind. And Satyavan felt a liquid voice, liquid sound, as if somebody was speaking to his inner ear. But now, they have already spoken to each other. And here we have got the concreteness of liquid sounds on our level. Passing the lips in liquid sounds, he spoke. Then there is one more occurrence here of the liquid. 148.16. It is of a slightly different kind, but it is very beautiful. Went whispering into lakes of liquid peace. Liquid peace. This is a very, very beautiful image. Liquid peace. It's a very picturesque phrase. I think you should make a painting of this one. Liquid peace. Yeah. Liquid peace. Went whispering into lakes of liquid peace. Very original phrase, very beautiful phrase, you see. So we have got actually 4 occurrences of the word liquid in Savitri. In 2 places it is the same thing, but you see the liquid, the easiness of flow, it is what comes out here, you see. Her lips in liquid sounds, it spoke. Now, allured to her lashes by his passionate words. I have got here a couple of references. Now, this image, allured to her lashes, as I told you, is a very romantic image. It is super Kalidasian. Kalidas is very fond of such romantic images. But Shebendu has gone beyond Kalidas. Her eyes have become so beautiful that the soul is drawn out, which Kalidas cannot do. Kalidas is basically a romantic, lyrical kind of a mood. But that spiritual lyricism which is here is absolutely enchanting. You see.